Hello. Wait, so we're actually streaming now? Alright, cool. Hello. So, Raiden and I are here. We're going to be...
Dude, hold on.
Wait.
Dude,
I'm like...
give me a second.
I can hear you.
Speak louder. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can be heard. All right, so hello, welcome everyone to the stream. You know, as you guys may or may not know, okay. Wait, hold on. Well, I'm gonna assume it's streaming because there's delay on the screen that we're looking at. But as you guys may or may not know, I'm Christo. I am the president of the Society of PC Building at UF. I also founded the just overall organization of the Society of PC Building. Today I'm here with Raiden. Raiden, I'll let you give like a little mini introduction about yourself. Why don't you talk about yourself for a second?
So yeah, my name is Raiden Williams. I'm go to UF as well. We're here today putting together one of these for the Society of PC Building. I'm a little bit new to PC building. I've done it a little bit as a hobbyist, just seeing it online. I've never actually put one together fully. So it'll be fun today to, get into that and yeah.
So before we get into it, let me say some disclaimers real quick. First of all, apologies for the noise in the background, guys. Unfortunately, the people outside my apartment decided that it was the absolute best time to do yard work right when we were streaming. So there's not really much we can do about that. I'll try to talk loud. I'll try to talk over it so that the camera can hear, but it just is kind of what it is. Okay. Other than that, like Raiden said, so Raiden's done a few builds. Not really done a few builds himself, but he's done a little bit of research on PC hardware. He knows general information, but is this your first time doing an actual hands-on?
Yeah, start to finish. Yeah, I've messed around with a pre-built switching graphics cards, but that's not all of it. So
all right, so what we're going to try doing is basically I'm gonna have to teach Raiden, not entirely because he has, like I said, some background knowledge, but I'm gonna have to partially teach Raiden. And so that will, what I hope that will do is that will force me in the teaching him to also teach you guys. Okay, so why don't we first start by going through the part selection that we have for this build today, which I think there was a PC part picker list for, but let's go through the basics. So I'll actually pull up PC part picker, that way we can make sure we're going in order, ensure that we have everything, all that good stuff. But if my phone would load, that would be great.
Oscar says there's no outside noise, so
no outside noise. Okay, cool. That's a good thing to know because for us there's this loud, blazing loud leaf blower right outside. But I guess the mic, it's supposed to be like a shotgun directional mic, so I guess it's doing its job. So let's see. So for the CPU, we have, where is it? Our AMD Ryzen 5 7600. This is a 7th generation AMD Ryzen CPU. I believe 6 cores, 12 threads. Basically all your general specs that you'll need for gaming. So people are asking me why I didn't go with an X3D CPU, because technically we'll get a few more FPS if we do that, but realistically this was just the best for our budget. Everything here was student government funded, so even though the budget wasn't too tight, we were also trying to save where we could. So anyways, yeah, we went with an AMD Ryzen 5 7600. Also, it has a pretty low power requirement. I think, if I remember off the top of my head correctly, it's a 65 watt TDP chip, which is pretty easy to cool. We also have a ID cooling 224 XTS or something CPU cooler here, which is plenty for this CPU at least. I've used this air cooler a lot in other builds too, and I've tested it, and it does a pretty good job while being very, very cheap, basically. Much better than the stock cooler, of course. As far as the motherboard goes, here's our motherboard. It's pretty basic. Once again, I got this motherboard for a few reasons. One of the things is that it has a decent VRM and cooling on everything for the price. It's a very cheap B650 board, but it also includes Wi-Fi, so just in case we need it for this PC, so we don't have to buy an external Wi-Fi, etc. Right? We don't have to buy an external Wi-Fi USB or something from Best Buy, spend more money. For memory, let's see, it's right on here. We have 32 gigs of DDR5 memory. So what that means is that basically we're not going to run out of memory. These PCs are going to be used mainly for gaming, which a lot of people say gaming is fine with 16 gigs, and honestly it is, but 32 is just to get us a little bit over in case, because it might be being used for streams for the esports team at UF, etc. So I wanted to kind of go all out on that one. Storage, we have a 1 terabyte NVMe drive. Oh, it's right here. It's falling down. Let's see. So we have it right here. This is just 1 terabyte. It's extremely, extremely fast storage. It's Gen 4 NVMe. I think 7,300 megabits per second, or megabytes, or whichever one it is. But it says on it, it's super fast. It'll make the OS turn on really quick, stuff like that. And then we finally have the case, very basic case, good airflow case, comes with 2 fans. Now we're not going to be installing them today, but I have some other fans that I'll probably put in the rear for the exhausts at a different point in time. I just didn't feel like spending a ton of time on stream just screwing things in, because it's like not hard stuff, it's just super easy, it's just time consuming. So yeah, I'll probably put some more fans in later, but we do have 2 up front that are RGB and stuff and already applied. Finally, power supply, we have the Enermax Revolution DF2, second version of the DF, which the DF was like a legendary unit. Enermax goes through all their specifications. They do like crazy stuff, they got the Japanese capacitors, like make sure they're all like good materials, stuff like that. Okay, so with that being said, my rants about the PC parts themselves are done.
Raiden, things look beefy.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
You forgot the graphics card.
Did I not go over? I didn't go over the graphics card. Okay, well we have a 4070 Ti here.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people ask me, why are we doing a 4070 Ti instead of like, I don't know, an RX 7950 XT or whatever, something like that, right? And the real reason for that is a couple of reasons. One, like I said earlier, this is all funded by student government. It's not like we're like super duper price tight. 2, I'm hoping at some point to maybe develop some like relationships with NVIDIA and stuff. So that would be pretty cool for the club.
Go Gators.
NVIDIA, if you're interested in doing a partnership, reach out to me, please. Thanks. But anyways, so with that being said, 4070 Ti, super duper powerful, good enough for games. It's gonna run the esports teams fine, and it'll be pretty cool for this gaming lounge. Okay. We also have some custom cables that are not really on the screen, but I don't know, I'll show them for like a few seconds. But we have just basically a motherboard power, a GPU, the special 16-pin for the GPU for the 4070 Ti, and a CPU power. Okay.
Right, I think we should clear some stuff off and then get started with.
Yeah, let's start. So I'm gonna, first of all, we're gonna put some things to the side so that way you guys don't have to see everything. And we're gonna start with the main process, which is, we'll start off by prepping the motherboard. We don't really need too much stuff for that, like we don't need the graphics card. We need, really what we're gonna need right now is the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, and the storage, right? And also, let me get the screwdrivers out. We have a couple magnetic screwdrivers and one small one for the M.2 drive. Sure. I should also probably get my keys, because we'll probably need to cut some boxes at some point in time.
This guy needs
but yeah, so my keys right here for now.
All right.
And let's just get started. So once again, Raiden, you had some knowledge. So what do you think the first thing to do is?
I think we need to open this up, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. And so notice there's a little bag that it's in. That's an anti-static bag. Where should you place? Also, that's a Wi-Fi antenna right there.
We put that over there.
I can put this over here for now, just because I won't need it for quite a while. But so there's an anti-static bag. Where would you place the motherboard when you take it out? Where
back onto the either cardboard or anti-static bag.
So I think you should just like lift this up straight up. And yeah, you put it on the cardboard, and you want to actually make sure to not put it on the bag. The reason for that is I don't think we need anything in this box anymore, because the I/O shield is built in. So yeah, you can actually leave all that in.
Leave it in here?
Yeah, you can actually leave all that in there. I don't think we'll need the M.2 screw. I'll take that out just in case though.
Oh yeah, because we have the M.2 right.
We have the M.2, but it might have a pre-applied version. So I'll take the standoff out soon, just in case. But then we don't need anything else in this box. So what we can do is we can now take it out, and we can actually just close this.
Okay.
We want to put the motherboard on the box, but we don't want to put the motherboard on the bag. The reason for that is, so the bag is an anti-static bag, which means on the inside of the bag, it doesn't have any static.
Yeah.
The outside of the bag, however, it's kind of the opposite, so you don't want to put it on the bag.
Okay.
Now, what do you think the actual reason for putting it on the box is?
Because it doesn't conduct electricity, right?
So that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
But it's actually wrong. So the table wouldn't conduct electricity either. I mean, this is probably like a wooden or, I don't know, laminate table. Like, it's not going to conduct electricity.
Okay.
The issue is that, what do you feel the motherboard? You probably noticed there's a ton of little connectors, little solder joints, and they can be very, very sharp. So if we were to put this directly on the table, it might scratch up the entire table. That's actually the real reason. Right. Anybody who says that like a piece of wood is going to conduct electricity, it's like, okay, I'll
unsheath this bad boy.
So what you want to do is first do me a favor. This is going to sound weird. Touch this case. Actually, don't even touch the case. Touch the metal, because you don't want painted metal. Okay. Yeah, touch the metal. Now you can just put your hand in and just take it out. Yeah, it's not going to like destroy. Most modern systems these days have a lot of like protections built in. I will tell you that one time I was messing with a laptop and I fried it, because laptops aren't really meant to be messed with as much, and so it didn't have as much protection clearly. And I also had socks on carpet. Don't do that, you know. But if we're like standing on wood with shoes on,
you want to switch cams?
Should be.
Do switch cams.
You want me to like zoom on in over here?
Yeah, you can see.
Take a look.
We have a dual cam setup here, so we're.
Yeah, we can. Let's see over here. Let me change it a little bit. Here's the motherboard, guys.
Did you switch it, V?
We can see the CPU socket, and it should look good. V, if you want to switch back, we should be good now.
Giving you guys a little up close.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this. And what we should probably do is basically get this motherboard in a position where the camera is easily able to see it, right? Because we're going to be working on this for a while.
Okay.
So I'm going to put it somewhere like right here, right? And then I'm going to take the camera and V, don't switch over yet, but I'm going to position it in a way that everyone can basically see like what we're actually doing. So let's see. I'm going to.
I think I would like it over here.
Yeah, that works perfect actually.
Cool. I just don't want it too close to the edge, you know.
Yeah, and now if I change. So are we ready to put the CPU in probably? I think
we're ready. Yeah, right.
So I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit to the CPU area.
Okay. So I think
if you want to switch to the camera that is pointing at the motherboard now, I guess camera 2, and maybe put us in picture-in-picture, yeah. Then we can see everything. So we're going to start opening up the CPU, but first of all, why don't we look at the socket? So this socket right here, we want to look, and I don't know if this is really showing too much on the camera, to be honest, but let me see. There is a little arrow kind of on the motherboard. You don't have to move the camera, because I can kind of move this and see it. But there is a little arrow on the motherboard and it's actually on this corner right here.
I see.
Yeah, it's on that corner right there, and it basically shows us.
You gotta line those up.
Where we're going to line this up with the arrow on the CPU. Okay.
Okay.
So keep in mind it's basically the top left corner. Let's see. So that's that.
Don't touch the socket. That's what it says.
Yep.
All right.
So I'm gonna open this right here. And now that we have the Streamlab right there, we can actually see without delay. That's actually probably more useful. Yeah. So I'm going to open this up, try not to break it. But I'm going to have you do the honors of putting the CPU. I'm going to teach you a way to do it, but I think it's easiest. But yeah. Also, I forgot to introduce, by the way, our camera woman is V behind the scenes. She's the one switching all the cameras, so thank you for that. If I say like V, that basically means I'm talking to her to switch cameras and stuff, just so you know. So let's see, we're going to continue over here. So now notice if we look at the PIP, V, do you want to switch back to main camera? Here's the CPU, guys. I know it's kind of hard to see. I shouldn't drop it on camera. That would be kind of bad, but I can put it like right there. You guys can see it. Also, you can see the other side. It's just it's an LGA CPU, meaning that the pins are actually on the motherboard, not the CPU. I know in Zen 4, or no, not Zen 4, before Zen 4, like in the original Ryzen and stuff, it was PPA, meaning the pins were on the CPU, but now we don't have that. So it's going to be a pretty simple process in order to put this in. We're just going to take it out. We're going to open the CPU socket. V, do you want to switch back to 2? And now, okay, so we're first going to open the CPU socket, and that is as simple as pushing it down, yep, and lift it up. Now, don't take the plastic part off quite yet.
Okay.
So yeah, lift that up.
This part?
So lift the lever up first. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lift the entire thing up. I think it comes up from like this. I think it comes up to the back, yep. Yeah, so you can pull that up.
You see it's like latched there. Maybe it goes this way?
Here, let's see.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yep. Cool. So it goes that way. And once again, you can see the little triangle there. I know it's like probably kind of hard to see.
There's on the top left there.
On the stream, but in the top left, there's a little triangle. And let's see. There you go.
Right there.
I guess if I pointed it down a little bit more, you guys might be able to see it. Here, if you want to open it up again, don't move the motherboard. I'll move the camera.
Okay.
That way.
Right there. We got that high quality. Perfect.
Yeah. So basically, that's that. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to reposition the motherboard, and we can actually show them us putting it in. So if we look over here, we have this CPU here, and I mean, if you look at it on the camera, here's the CPU. I'm going to let you open it up and let you put it in. What I recommend doing is if you put your hand like this in your hand, I know it's kind of hard to see, but look in the picture-in-picture. My hand, it's just in midair, right? The issue with that is that, especially people like me who are drink a lot of caffeine and stuff, coffee, all that, you get shaky because your hand's in midair and you're trying to hold it up. So what you want to do is you want to actually rest your arm on the table as you're putting it in. And once again, you just line the arrow up with the arrow there. The arrow should be on the CPU.
Okay.
And you should be good, okay? Other than that, you literally just drop it in. You don't put any force. You just, whoop. Okay, that's it. It's done. Okay?
So let's get it out of here.
I had a question. Somebody asked, did you get this all from Amazon? Yeah, everything was bought from Amazon, mainly because it was all bought with student government money. So the way that it works with student government is all of the PC parts we buy, if we do from Amazon, like, I don't have to like pay for it myself at all. Sometimes if you buy things with student government, you have to like shell it out of your own money first and then get a refund. But if we do it with Amazon, student government just buys it for us. So yeah, everything was bought from Amazon. You're correct.
This is much heavier than I thought it would be, to be honest.
Really? I wonder, maybe that's because of the the metal part on the top.
That's like the heat sink.
I'm going to show it to that camera. All right, yeah, that's called an IHS, an integrated heat spreader, and that will basically take the obviously it takes the heat away from the chip itself. But yeah, if you want to see the triangle on the CPU is
match that up.
Yeah, if you want to match that up with the triangle on the socket, and you should just be
I
able
think I'm
to
gonna go for it.
Yeah, it should be pretty simple. You just plop it on in. Boom, it's done. The CPU is in. So now, what do you think you have to do?
We're gonna have to put this back down, right?
Yep, put that down.
And then it says to not remove it, the socket cover.
So the socket cover might pop out, it might not. It sometimes does, it sometimes doesn't, but it should theoretically. Don't freak out if it doesn't though. But yeah, just put that lever down. It'll require some pressure. This part always requires a little pressure. You partially think that you're gonna break it, but it doesn't break. And there you go, popped off, so now we should be good to go. And now we can see, boom, we have an installed CPU. So let me try, once again, I'll reposition the camera so everyone can see that. Let's see, I'm just gonna go here. I guess we're kind of low zoomed in we can get here, but there we go, we got the CPU guys, it is in. And now we're going to move on to installing the RAM, okay? So the RAM is probably one of the easiest parts, as opposed to also just like...
Don't kick it, Christo, come on.
Just like killing to get shot. But the RAM is one of the easiest parts, okay? So the RAM is going to go into these 4 slots right here. And you'll notice that somewhere on this board, there's probably a little legend. Basically saying which slot to use first. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it says right here. So,
right here. DDR5, A1 and A2. So do we want to do?
We want to do A2 and B2.
First.
A2 and B2 first.
So that's these.
So yeah, it's basically the second one and the fourth one. So also, if you can't find that on the motherboard, if you're building a PC for the first time and you can't find that on the motherboard like it has on this motherboard, which is pretty nice that it just has it right there, which slots to use. For those of you on stream, what we're doing is we have 4 RAM slots, but we only have 2 RAM sticks. So we have to figure out which RAM slots are the proper RAM slots to use. It's usually in the motherboard manual, but this motherboard is nice enough so there's like a legend right there, and it tells us that we have to use slots 2 and 4. So I'll open those up. And then it should be as simple as you're gonna have to line up the notch. Now notice that the notch on the RAM, it is, here, wait, actually, if you, oh, you got it? Okay, cool. So the notch on the RAM, there's a little notch that's like kind of in the center of the RAM, but it's not actually symmetrical, which means that the RAM is only going to go in one way. It's only going to go in the correct way. If you try putting it in the wrong way, it just, won't it won't go in. So keep that in mind. But it should be pretty simple. Also, there's no more leaf blowers, so hopefully the audio might have gotten better because it's not really focusing on like taking that audio out. I don't know, maybe not. But yeah, it should be pretty simple, and I think this is a part that I can probably let you do kind of on your own.
Right. So let's take one out. Show this again out of package.
Yep.
Beautiful. I love the black on black. It's super clean. So let's pop this.
I think what's going to look really nice is when you have like mostly black stuff, and then we have like a couple LED or RGB like fans. It's going to pop.
I'm going to take them both out first.
Yep. Let's see. Anybody in the chat? Everyone in the chat, how is the audio quality and how is the background music quality generally right now? Envy, if you want to, switch to that.
All right. I think
audio is solid. Wearing headphones, nice. Okay, cool.
I lined up the notch in the center with the stick.
Gotcha.
And this is A2.
So now you just gotta pull. You gotta push in. It's gonna require a little bit of pressure. Yeah, I heard that.
Should
click.
snap both sides, right?
Yep. So notice that actually that should be done because the thing is the way that this motherboard works is you can see that the RAM is only like kind of there on one side, but there we go. I actually had to click that in a little bit more because I wanted it to line up.
That takes a lot of force.
Yeah.
All right. And then B2 for this one.
So yeah, you go straight up and then all the way down. Once again, it will take a little bit of force. It's normal though. There we go. Cool. I heard that one click fully, I think.
Perfect.
And you can see that they're all lined up and cool. Our RAM is now installed.
Nice.
That's awesome. So next up, we've installed the CPU, we've installed the RAM. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to try to clean up our space a little bit, just to make sure that we don't get too cluttered. Let's put the CPU back. We are not using the CPU cooler that came with the Ryzen CPU. So what that means is that we don't have to worry about doing the stock cooler. The RAM is done. We're going to now start on the M.2 drive. So now for the M.2 drive, we're probably going to want to use this small screwdriver because it's a really tiny screw. Luckily, these are magnetic, so it's pretty easy. So
I'm looking here. We got the thermal guard, M.2 thermal guard. So we got to take all three of these screws out and then place it down here.
Yep, and then below that there should be one or two M.2 drives. I don't remember how many, but if you want, I'll unscrew this for you, and you can get the drive out.
Oh, this is tiny.
Yeah, so the M.2 drive, if you actually show that to the close-up camera, it's about the size of a stick of gum. I always call it a gum drive because
that's awesome.
It is like if you have like a stick of like extra gum, that's basically the exact same size. I've compared it before in person, and it really is just the exact same. I'm going to move the motherboard to the close camera now. That way we can see this process.
Let's get this.
Essentially what we have here is, let's see, what's the easiest way to show this? Okay, yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. So we have the M.2 drive here, and we're going to take that heatsink off first. It might require a little bit of pressure, and also it might have not screwed it out fully. We'll just try taking it off. It might feel a little
I think we need one
weird.
more.
One more over there. Let's see.
Top left.
And just try taking it off. So now notice that we have two M.2 drives slots underneath. And notice that there are those little blue things. Those are little pieces of plastic to keep the thermal material like below it like fine. But you want to make sure that whichever M.2 drive we're using, we want to make sure to take that off. Because if you don't take that off, the M.2 drive is going to heat up and it's going to burn that plastic. You're going to smell melting plastic, and eventually your M.2 drive is going to die. So
it does not sound.
Yeah. So when we look at this, all right. So this has so this is a Gigabyte version. So hold up, this is actually a little bit proprietary, meaning that it's like different. Gigabyte wants you to probably unclip this, which.
Unclip that?
Yep. And then so you basically
is that hold the back side?
Yeah, you actually but you can still put it in. Put it in like slanted.
So if you had like a longer, because they make a longer version, right?
Yeah.
So that would be all the way to this point, but this will hold it in this screw slot. Let me show that. So it'll be in this screw right there.
Yep.
Line it up there.
And so you want to actually go in at a slanted angle, and you want to like go in like that.
Okay.
And then after that, you push it in. You push it all the way in. And then after that, you lower it down. Go a little more slanted.
Like that?
Yeah, like go in and then just go, push it.
Push it?
Yep.
Okay. It feels like it's in there.
Okay. And then after that, you should be able to put it down. And then just clip the little thing on.
Do we need to put a screw in there or no?
Nope, no screw. This is, Gigabyte made this, like it's like supposed to be like an easy lock system.
Maybe it needs to go in a little bit more.
Here, you want me to?
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Now it's fully in. Little click. And then boom, it's done.
That's so easy.
So now we need to look at this first of all and think, okay, if we're putting this on, right?
This is the top.
It's going to be like that. So you need to take the top one off. So it's going to be that one. Let's get this sticker. So we took. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see. We were just taking off the thermal thing.
Let me make this a little bit wider.
There we go.
Perfect.
And so now what we're going to do is you can just put this back on top. And it should line up with the screws, and then you just screw it in. And
can I get the screwdriver?
Yep, here you are. M.2 has been installed. It's a pretty easy process so far, right? Building PC, not that difficult. Like, yeah, you have to memorize the steps, but there's really only a certain number of steps. Probably about 8 to 9 parts you got to put in, depending on the build. Maybe even 7 if you don't have a graphics card. And once you memorize those steps, it's like honestly an easy process, but it's also a fun process because every single build can be different. Different parts. different customizations for, you know, what you're trying to do. What you want it to look like. You want, like, I don't know, if you wanted to make like an all-white build, you can make one of those with like LEDs shining off the white. That looks pretty good a lot of times. So it's not a super hard process. Yeah, with that, and then finally,
cooler, right?
Yeah. Well, what we want to do is we want to put the cooler backplate on, but we don't want to put the entire cooler on.
Oh, it's
now. Yeah, turn ISO a little bit down. Yeah,
I think that's better.
Yeah. So
be down a little bit more too. Continue.
So we're gonna put on the cooler bracket. Now, in order to put the cooler bracket on, this is the one part that even I'm gonna have to consult a manual for. Actually, I think there's one other part I'll have to consult a manual for, which is when we do the front panel connections. The reason for this is because every single cooler is kind of slightly different. So it's like, unfortunately, there's gonna be a period of time where I'm just reading documentation. It's just kind of how it is. But we're gonna have to put on. If I take out, you can see in the picture. Here's the CPU cooler. So I'm going to put the M.2 to the side. I'm going to put all this stuff to the side. I'm going to put this small screwdriver to the side. And we're going to start taking this bracket. We're just going to put the bracket on. We're not going to put the entire cooler on.
This thing looks beefy.
Yeah, hopefully it is. We want everything to stay nice and cool, but also it doesn't break the bank, so that's a good thing. So if you take that on out.
They have the best factory system. Alright. The installation guide.
So I'm going to need the installation guide because I'm going to have to tell you which brackets we're using. But yeah, you can start by taking that out. We won't need...
That's the fan, right?
Actually, yeah.
Or is that extra fan, maybe?
Yeah. That actually might be the mounting hardware. Like metal, which is probably what we need. I don't think we actually need those parts.
There's the fan.
Yeah, I think we don't need these parts, low-key, so you can actually just keep them in the box. Right now, all we need is the mounting hardware.
This will be later.
Yeah, that'll be later. So we can put this aside. And we can take this. Now, this is where we have like a bajillion brackets and stuff. I don't know if you guys can see this really well, but
this is like a whole box full of this.
So essentially we have like one bracket here. We probably have a few other brackets, and I have to read. Basically on, if you want to show this to the close-up real quick, Raiden, if you want to pull up over here, just show them off. I'm going to have to read, there's more brackets right here. I'm going to have to read which bracket we have to actually use. Because what happens is there's different CPUs that require different sockets, you know, like from year to year, and they try to make the CPU cooler compatible with everything. So because of that, you have a ton of different types of hardware that you need to use. So that's what I'm going to have to read the manual for and see for this specific CPU, which one do we need. So let's take a look. Intel, well, we're using an AMD CPU, so it's probably not one of those. AMD AM4/AM5, so that's us right here. So the first thing that we're going to have to do, maybe we should have put the motherboard in front of the close-up camera so I can actually show them what I'm saying. Let's move that here for now. Move this right here.
That's good.
Yeah. So if you guys can see, there's a bracket right here and there's a bracket right here. We're gonna have to start by turning that off. After we take that off, we're going to then put on the new bracket. Okay. So
that's these plastic.
Yep. So right there. I guess you can start by taking those off, maybe.
For sure.
Shouldn't be too hard. Let me look while you do that. Let me figure out which bracket we need. So we're gonna need this. Okay, so for the brackets, we're gonna need the one that kind of like looks like it bends, like this one and this one.
Are we gonna need to keep these somewhere?
Yes. Or those screws we likely won't need anymore.
Okay.
I'm going to probably just put those in the motherboard box at the end. I'm gonna leave them right here for now, just to make it easy on me. So I'm getting all the stuff out of the way that we don't actually need. And this we don't need particularly right now either. These are for the fans later.
Do it for the fans.
Yeah.
I love this magnetic tip.
So we're going to need these brackets.
Just pull it right out. Look at that. It's awesome.
We're going to need...
Alright, should I take these plastic pieces out? Oh yeah, okay.
So we'll put these here for now. So now we have everything we need.
So you said these are gonna go on essentially this way, right?
Yeah, so those will go on that way. Facing. And we make sure that they're facing out, yep.
Do we need these spacers first though?
So yeah, we need to put those on first. So it's these little red spacers here. And you can tell just by looking For those of you not knowing what I'm doing, I'm just looking at documentation right now.
Yeah.
Camera's over here. It's just documentation on which stuff to use. We're doing AM5, so yeah. So we're gonna have to take these out. My voice is already dying on me. Right, but it's okay. We're gonna have to take these out and
take a sip of coffee.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink.
Take a break.
Let's see. And take those out, and you see how you put the red things on. Just kind of follow the picture.
There's 4 spacers and 4 screws, so I don't think there's an up or down on these. So
let's see. We had someone say I hated using that bracket for my friend's PC build. Was LGA 1700. Yeah, I mean the brackets can definitely be a pain because, like I said, they're all different. So it's just something you got to keep in mind. But it's not the end of the world. At least nowadays the documentation is getting a lot better. Like they have fancy pictures and stuff, as opposed to it just being like text. Like put this stopper on, and you're like, well, which stopper? There's 3 packs of stoppers. Like I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know about you, but I really love the pictures. The visuals truly help.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm kind of just hand tightening these first.
That sounds perfect, and that's something that you should always do when you're building a PC. Is never put a screw all the way down when it's like the first screw. Get everything threaded first, just so that it's actually in, and then screw like all the way down, kind of equally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm doing 2 at once. They call that multi-threading.
Multi-threading. Multi-threading.
This is the nerdiest joke I think I've ever made.
That is kind of funny. The CPU's got multi-threading, and you learn a lot about multi-threading in operating systems. Is the included CPU enough for a build like this? Do you mean the CPU cooler, Jimmy? If you were to ask, is the included CPU cooler enough? Yes, the answer is yes, 100% it is. With that being said, this is probably going to be used a lot during like games and video game streams and stuff. So I wanted to get something that's like a little bit better than that. So yeah. Like the built-in CPU cooler will be fine. AMD's CPU cooler is pretty decent. Of course, I think they recently. I don't know if this one comes with the Stealth or the Wraith. But I think like at some point they like downgraded the CPU cooler to like the lower model, which is smaller one, which is kind of annoying. But
I remember them.
It's not the Wraith Prism. The Wraith Prism I think only comes with like the 3700X or something. Like one of the higher end ones. I forget exactly which one it comes with, but it's not that one. The one that's like RGB.
That one looks so nice. Yeah. The circular one. Maybe we should pull out the. I'd like to see the one it comes with.
You want to look at it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember if it's like I said. I don't remember if it's the Wraith Stealth or the Wraith. It might be the Wraith Stealth because the box is kind of small. Here's the actual CPU cooler it comes with.
Interesting. All right, so I got those 4 on.
Okay, those 4 are on. So if you look at here, right, now we just have, what would be next?
Oh, this is thermal paste.
So we're not doing that part yet. We're not doing the thermal paste yet.
Okay.
So
we wait.
Yeah, everything beyond this is putting the actual cooler on, and we're not doing any of that yet. So we're actually done with the CPU cooler for now. Basically, the reason I'm saying that is because what's going to happen is there's like a little power cable up here. There's a little power cable like right here, which is for the CPU. I know it's kind of hard to see, but
let's flip this.
Yeah, this power cable is right here. So we're gonna have to put a power cable to that. And if you put the CPU cooler in, and then when you put it in the case, like unless you have like tiny, minuscule fingers,
it'll be hard.
All right, bye, Boss Man Tech. I'll see you later. But if you unless you have like tiny little fingers, it's like almost impossible to get your fingers in there. So that's why I don't put the CPU cooler on right now.
All right. That was the next part that I was kind of worried about, is like the right pattern in which to put the thermal paste so that it gets like an even spread.
Yeah, I usually do a smiley face. It works pretty well.
You do a smiley face?
Yeah. Everyone gets mad at me, and then I turn on the system and it has normal thermals, so I'm like, I don't really care, like, to be honest.
Alright, so we're probably going into the case now, right?
Yep. So now we can, we're going to get ready to put it in the case. Luckily, the case installation should be pretty simple. I'm assuming these were the screws from the bracket.
That was this from the original one.
Yeah. I'll put those right there for now. Luckily, this cart has a lot of little organizers, so I can keep everything kind of organized. We'll put this over here. The actual CPU cooler is right there. So keep that in mind. The brackets are over there. Yeah, let's get the case. So I'm going to pick this case up. We're super lucky because this This motherboard has an integrated I/O shield. If we look at it over here, you can see that there's already an I/O shield, so we don't have to worry about putting one on and cutting ourselves when we put it in the case.
This is quite expansive too. Like you got USB-C on here.
Oh, look, a little awkward for now. Gotta get this case on over, but it's fine. So we have the case here. I know you guys can't really see much. Let me flip it around. So we do have tempered glass, and we're gonna have to take this off. And after I take this off, I'm probably going to like real quick step off camera and put it somewhere where there's no chance of it getting broken.
That's the back thumb screws right here? Yeah,
so what I want to do is just to make sure it doesn't fall, because I don't know how the case is engineered.
Oh, okay.
I'll like put it like this first.
That sounds good.
Because we wouldn't want it to fall. We see there's a little instruction manual. If I look through the power supply, I can see in the hard drive bay, I think there's a little box with stuff in, so we'll get that when we take the back off. So that's where we're gonna have a lot of our screws and all that.
Handle with care.
Yeah, and I will, like I said, I'll step off camera for a second.
I think those are both out, so.
Okay, cool.
It's just able to. Oh. Okay, so it like leverages.
Yeah, there's a little latch right there.
Okay.
And I will be right back. I'm gonna just put this on the couch so that it doesn't have any possibility of dying.
Instruction manual. And then a bunch of cables. These are the fan cables in here already. Let me flip this back. Should I take off this other backplate?
Yes. So we can take that off now too. And then that, it's not glass, so it doesn't matter too much. I can just like, put that at the bottom of the cart and call it a day. And we should be able to get the hardware. And then we're ready to put the motherboard into the case, which is, after you put the motherboard in the case, you realize that the PC starts looking like an actual PC.
The PC looks like real.
Yeah. So we're going to take this out. We're going to put this at the bottom.
So give it a couple of zip ties in here.
There's this little box in the hard drive bay. I might actually try taking the hard drive bay out. I don't know how long it'll take. So we have this box.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah, if we take that right there. Let's see, how hard would it be for me to take out this hard drive bay?
Like a couple of screws, right?
Yeah, so let's look at the bottom. There's like 4 screws there.
Here.
Is there any other screw, or is it just those 4? I'm gonna try taking this out real quick, guys. Because
if we don't need it, yeah, for sure.
We don't need it. Nobody uses hard drives these days. There's still SSDs mounts in here. And what will happen is, if we leave it in, it's going to take up a lot of room that we could be putting, like our PSU cables, we could be shoving in there for better cable management. So, yeah.
This thing is awesome. Do you want to switch over? Yeah. So they gave you a little, I don't know, box with all of the screws, some rubber stoppers, a bunch of these zip ties just to help. But this thing is so useful. You could keep this, put whatever you want in it. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps we should probably put these screws that I'm taking out in there.
That's a good point, yeah.
So that way, in the case if anyone ever wants them, it's
these
like
back plates into. So you don't lose them all.
I should get a Linus Tech Tip screwdriver. I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a whole Linus Tech Tip screwdriver. Maybe with our funding next semester, we can buy one. They're kind of nice. They have like the strongest magnets. I don't know. They apparently feel really nice in the hand.
Would that mess up any of like components though? Like having that big of a magnet on there?
Not these days, because nothing is magnet based anymore. Like if you were in the ancient times using like a magnetic floppy drive, maybe, but I don't think anybody uses that anymore. So come on, I need you to connect.
See if you had this super strong. Oh, it's just this one's left.
Yeah. Couldn't see that when I was covered by the foot for me. So yeah, we can get this on out. Chase and Tina are fighting in chat as usual. Let's see. Chase, I hope that Ava doesn't know that you're watching me right now.
Alright, you got it?
Yep, I got this out, and cool. Now we have this on out. So we can put these screws, like I said, we can just put them in here somewhere. And that way those will not get lost. But now this hard drive bay is out. So that will allow us to have more room later when we're cable managing. So that's a big step. And now we're actually ready to put the motherboard in the case, finally. So what we need to do is we need to probably Well, first of all, we need to turn this case over, right? I think that makes the most sense. And essentially, guys, I'm going to try to show this on camera, but it might be a little hard. There are these things called standoffs here. They're all in this side of the case. I think V can like zoom in a little bit. Yeah, wow. Cool.
You want to adjust the ISO of some?
Let's see. So the way that this works is there's like these little standoffs. There's one right here. You can see all the little holes. It's pretty easy. I can see it on the screen, so it's not bad.
They were good.
So basically, we have all these little screw things, and these are like opposite of screws. They're female screws. Not to make that funny or anything, but yeah, they're basically female screws, which means that you put a screw into them. And what that allows us to do is basically put the motherboard on top of them and then screw the motherboard in. Okay, so if I put this down, we want to count them. We want to make sure that there's the correct amount of standoffs. Once again, standoffs are opposite of screws. We want to make sure there's the correct amount of them in the case. Okay, and also I should have got scissors, but we don't have scissors. But I might cut this later, but we don't have to cut it right now. It's fine. But so anyways, so if I look at the motherboard, let's count how many holes we have on the motherboard. If we go to the close-up cam, see if I can like point some of these out. You can see that there's like a hole like right there where my finger's covering it, but let's see, hold up. See, there's holes at the bottom. Okay, the way that these work is like they line up. Okay, so if I go to the motherboard and I count how many holes there are, let's see. We have
one here, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6,
might be one
7, 8. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so there's 8. So I want to count in here and see if there's 8 of them. Okay, so I see 1, 2. And I don't think there's a third one. So it's like we might have to add a third one. And then 3, 4.
Do we have to have all of them?
We don't have to have all of them. But if we can,
there's some standoffs.
If we can put them real quick. There's standoffs in there. I will be right back though, because in order to add them, we need like a standoff screwdriver. So let me see if I have one. Well, we can add one finger tight just in case.
Okay. I'm gonna look for them in here. This is fun. A bag full of black screws. Let's find them. That's one. I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You said there's 8 total. So let's do 2 more. 1 more.
All right. So
I got one. Yeah.
I got a specific screwdriver for these. Let me find the bit.
All right. Here they are. One there. One there.
All right, cool. So we're gonna just put a couple more standoffs in.
Is that this camera?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we lost main camera. Overheating.
It's too hot.
Yeah.
Okay, we were gonna.
We can move this up and show our faces on this one. I think you're good.
All right, so I'm going to. What you can kind of see, but not really, is we're basically. I'm putting standoffs in the case right now. Maybe turn down the ISO on that one a little bit, because it's just really bright in the background.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Do the blinds. But so I'm just putting the 2 standoffs in, and after I put these 2 in, we should have the correct amount. We're going to need to get a close-up shot of the inside of the case in a second anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much. We're going to take this, and I want to actually move the motherboard out of the way, so move it to the left.
I'll put it on this chair. Or I can move it up here.
I would just move it to the side of the table for now. And essentially, what we're going to do is, I'm going to position the camera now so that it can see into the case.
Should I flip this up?
No, don't flip it over. Just keep it all like this. So, essentially...
You can honestly take it out of there if you want a handhold.
Yeah, this part might require both of us. So essentially we have the case here, guys. We're going to be putting the motherboard in. So we already made sure there's enough, we made sure that there's enough standoffs, there's all matching, and really we're just going to be placing the motherboard in here. So, also I need to make sure that this is not in there. That'd be good. Essentially, if we put this right here. So once again, if we count the standoffs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we have, here's the one issue I just noticed as well. Hold up. So we have this. So, okay, notice that one of the standoffs is in the wrong spot. If we look at the motherboard, there's this, and then there's this one. Notice how this one's lower than this one. Okay. So it's supposed to go there. So I actually have to take this one out now.
Yeah, that's a good point, because then you don't want random connections on the back touching metal with all of the
good short stuff.
Yeah, not good.
So anyways, I'm glad I noticed that real quick, but yeah, we can take this out. I'm surprised because this case manufacturer, because this motherboard has a pretty standardized layout of what it always is. So I'm surprised they didn't give you default the layout that most use, but it's fine. So now we're correct. Now basically what you can do right here.
Now we're chilling.
Is you can lift this in. You want to lift it up, and you want to go from this side, the right, and then put it into the IO shield.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you do that.
Let's try.
And then after that, we will have to screw it in with the screws that we have in that box from earlier. Okay. All right. So now you can just go hook it left. A little short for this, but this table should be perfect. All right, cool.
I think that's right in.
Yep, that looks great. So now I'm going to check it.
See through all these holes that there's a standoff in place. I think we need to adjust it a little bit down. Oh, it's squishing one of these wires. Okay, I think we're good now.
Okay, so now what we can do is we're gonna take these screws. I will get the correct screws real quick, and we can actually screw that in. Let's listen. So we're gonna need 8 of them. Remember, I counted 8 earlier. There we go. I counted 8 earlier, and this is just a lot of repetitive screwing now. So I gotta get 8 of these little screws. 1, 2, 3. The screws for the motherboard are the ones that are kind of rounded, but they're small. Let's see. That one's flat, so it's actually an SSD screw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can start screwing. 6. Yep, 7, 8. So we have 8.
Can I get the small driver?
You want to actually use the big one.
The big one?
Yeah. And I'll use this other big one too. So basically we're just screwing stuff in. Is it possible for the cam to go higher? Yeah, unfortunately, the tripod's at its max. I should probably put the table lower, to be honest. I guess I could do that.
I think it can go up just a little bit more. I think it has a second extension. I just realized. I think it can go up more.
Oh wait, the camera goes higher. we're like goons.
We're just goons, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Screw this back down. All right. Let me switch this thing. How does that look?
So what you can even do is you move that and put it down more. All right. So hopefully this is a little bit better for you guys. So anyways, we're gonna get this screwed in real quick. To the entire 4 viewers in the chat right now.
I started this one, so let's keep going. It'd be nice if we had some overhead light, or I could have one of those, they call them. They strap onto your forehead.
Headlamps?
Headlamps, yeah. Alright, I got 2 in here. I'm trying to. Oh, that does not feel like this is the right one.
Let me look at it.
See, these ones have kind of a flat part, and this one they're rounded.
They should all be rounded. Okay, yeah, that one.
Because the one that I put in was different. I put in one like that, and it fits. Maybe
they should all. Hold up, let me check. These are all fine, actually. Here,
that one? That one's a little wider, actually.
No, these are actually all fine. They're all meant for motherboard. Yeah.
It just went. It kind of it didn't feel like it was gonna thread.
I think it's just the fact, this one threaded fine. I think it's that standoff is just kind of low, kind of tight. So because I have to put it in kind of tightly in order to get all the way in, it actually felt fine though. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. So what's the difference between these screws? Is just like preference in terms.
So some of those are
there's like flat ones I see.
the flat ones are SSD screws.
Okay.
Like meant for SATA SSDs. What did I do here? But the screws that are kind of not flat are the motherboard screws. You good? Yeah. But the screws that are not flat are the mother ones, and then the screws that are, let's see, where is the standoff there? Okay, I see it. Okay, we're good. But the screws that are like big are power supply screws. Yeah.
Okay. I think I can get this one. Let me make sure this isn't gonna fall off.
Just super repetitive process right now. Let's see what. Now it's like watching Linux. Yeah.
Linus.
Or Linus. Oh, Linus, not Linux. Okay. There's just a heart emoji, so I can't see the chat.
So that's a lot better.
So we got that top-down view. That is good to know that the camera can go higher. Now this would be so hard if we didn't have magnetic screwdrivers. It would be a big pain. Let's see. So where is that one missing?
This one looks a little sideways too.
I'll work on that. Let's see.
This one going on? Okay, that went in. Okay.
I just knocked the camera, sorry guys.
I said we can lower the table too. You think that'll help?
These middle screws are slightly off center, which is slightly annoying, but it's just probably the case. That actually might be a notch, not a screw thing.
Are we doing PSU next, or
Yeah, so why don't we
I can
still
get some
still-
box.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to continue doing that.
See,
I mean, if you want to switch to what Raiden's unboxing it.
there's one there, and then there's the one in the center, I think. You know, one thing I always struggled with was understanding the differences in like power supplies. So like, what's the difference between like gold, bronze, platinum? I think the platinum is one, right?
So
It's like-
yeah, so
You're saying
those,
the levels.
what you're referencing are efficiency levels.
Okay.
What that means is how much wattage that a power supply is using, how efficient is it with that wattage? Meaning how much
Okay.
extra is it using that it doesn't actually need to use.
And then like, what's I guess a good price per dollar? Like, what is a good way? You know, like, do I go for gold if I'm just doing a budget build, or
So
what does it matter? The
more
the
important than going for
quality.
like
How do you measure the quality yourself? Like,
here's the issue. Efficiency does not mean quality, which a lot of people mess that up. Just because a PSU is like gold or platinum or something, it doesn't automatically make it a great PSU. It doesn't make it a bad PSU, obviously, but so what that means is that you can't just go on about a PSU in a way that, like, you're saying, okay, because it's this efficiency level, it must be reliable.
must be good.
You really have to look at the actual reliability for that, and in order to do that, you have to go on some, like, basically there's a lot of online, there's a bunch of tier lists and stuff that you can look at, like Excel spreadsheets.
That's tier list.
Yeah, type stuff like that, and that's what I actually. Oh no, I just dropped the screw. I'll have to get another one. Let's see. So yeah, basically you can find tier lists online, and that's what I actually recommend going to, because those tier lists are going to oftentimes be much more accurate for the actual reliability of the power supply. Don't just go based off the efficiency rating, because well, the efficiency rating tells you sort of a story, as in a company that making a good power supply will likely try to get a higher efficiency rating certification. It doesn't tell the entire story, so you know, it's just not everything.
So this is a plus gold with 850 watt capacity, right?
Yep. So 850 watts is the maximum. Of course, it won't always be drawing 850 watts.
Yeah.
That would be kind of ridiculous. But yeah. Okay, finally got that screw in correctly. All right, so everything is in correctly, I believe. So now, if we did this correct, when we lift up the motherboard,
it won't fall out, right?
Yep. And we are good to go. Okay, cool. So the motherboard did not fall out. That's good to know. Here we have it this way. So as you guys can see, the whole PC is starting to turn more into a PC, not a I don't know, hunk of metal, right? So that's good. That is good to know. We're now going to continue building. So we're going to put the PSU in. The question is, let me think. Should we do anything before we put the power supply in? Let me just think about this for 1 second.
Do we want to route the cables maybe first, or?
Yeah. So I'm thinking what we should do before we put the power supply in is actually do the front panel I/O.
Okay.
Because that stuff is really, really small, and if we have other cables in the way, it might be a pain.
Okay.
We also what we want to do.
Do we wrap those around the back, or do we push them in for them?
So the front panel I/O, kind of hard to see on camera probably, but it's all down here. This very bottom part. There's a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where we plug in like the power button, the USBs. If you look at the case, if you look at the case, there's a power button, some USBs on it, stuff like that. Okay, and essentially what we're going to do is we're going to plug all that stuff in. So we have, let's see, if we look at,
I'll push this up even higher.
Yeah, put it higher than maybe.
As high as it goes, and then.
What?
I'm going to show here.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Let's see.
This can just be set here.
So we have this
Switch over
area right here. All at the bottom. That's where we're really focusing on. But we're gonna be putting all of the connections right here. So once again, that includes our USB 3 and stuff. I need to get a knife so I can cut some zip ties over here.
I'm gonna just check this out then.
So yeah, I wish I had scissors, but I don't.
So yeah, like I can trace from this front panels down where these wires come and see exactly which ones we're dealing with here.
Let me get through here real quick because I have a knife.
Sure.
I just gotta cut one thing.
The steak knife.
Yes, the steak knife works.
Don't do this at home, kids.
Let's see.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this back now. Sorry.
Alright, so he just cut all of our I/O cables loose, so that now we can route them where we need to. Not undo this. Actually, you can just send it through here, right? Or...
So here's the thing. We're gonna want to look. So one of these is HP audio. One of these is.
We're gonna need to open up the motherboard manual to see exactly where.
Yeah, and then one of these is like there should be power switch, power LEDs, something like that.
Let's see if there's any with warm.
Fan LEDs. Okay. So
it does not say here.
The front panel has one connection. That's crazy. Okay, so the front panel is just going to plug into the front panel because that's just how it is. I want to see if I have some slots right here. Okay. So I guess how that's going to work is we just plug this front panel in. I've never seen this before where it has the entire front panel.
Just
one, but that's crazy. But needless to say, we're gonna. I know once again this is probably hard to see. I guess we could probably try to get that so it's looking straight here.
Yeah, I got it.
So yeah, we're gonna try to get that so that you guys can see it. So I'm plugging in this front panel connector. It has a little cutout in one of the notches. So I guess if I look at this.
Looking at the back of your head.
So, okay, cool. So it's gonna go like this basically. There we go. Front panel is now done. That's crazy. It's one connector now. So if usually you have a bunch of connectors for that one.
So does it say exactly, like, how do you know that this
So
one?
basically how it worked is there's one pin that was like solid instead of having a hole. And that pin lined up with a pin on the front panel that was also like not a pin.
Oh, it also it says like USB.
Yeah, and also so there's specific ports that it will say. It's like audio is always on this side somewhere. So it's like
the leftmost. It says.
Yeah, and so you can also see how there's a notch that's like cut out.
Okay, so that's to like match the pins exactly.
Yeah, so it's like if I look at this, I can see there's a notch that's not there right there. So this is gonna go in like this. See, it just goes straight in. And if I put it in the wrong way, then that just would not go in, like because the notch is there. So it's almost impossible to do this wrong. I'm gonna let you do. Well, I'll let you do a very annoying.
Do the annoying part. Okay, thanks.
Let me find where you want to do this. The most annoying part is getting in this USB 3.0 and high key. If you have too much trouble, I'll do it, but I can. So basically, you have to take this, and the actual USB 3.0 port is that thing right there. Okay. You see that? So it's gonna be a struggle. That one's like super annoying because it's like a tight corner and the cable's thick. If you feel like you're having trouble, just let me know.
I think I can line it up. So there's like a notch right here. And there's a notch on this.
Yep.
So I think it goes just straight in this way.
Yeah, it could also be easier if you like.
Let's move these case fan.
Does that still work?
And then I'm just giving it some slack, so I'm not bending the cord a lot. Just gotta.
There you go. Got it in. Nice. That was a very good job. That is sometimes the most annoying connector to get in. So, and we're also going to want to connect the fans while we're here. The fans, let me look at how they're set up because I don't know if they're like connected to each other or if they have separate connections. So I got to look around where those. Okay.
I think they're.
So here we have. This is RGB. So this is actually for the RGB. This will plug into a 3-pin. There's actually one right there. There's a 3-pin RGB header. That's ARGB, which means that you can basically have multiple colors show up at the same time. And the actual fan header itself is right here. So, and notice that also we have on the RGB, we have the ability to daisy chain, which means that we can plug the RGBs together and plug them together into one thing.
So we should do that, right?
Yeah. So what I'm going to first do is, let's take this stuff, and we do have to plug in the fans separately, I believe, like the fans themselves, but then the RGB we can plug in together.
Okay.
So I'm looking for, there's a fan, there's one fan header right here, and then there's also a fan header, there's like quite a few, but they're all like, let's see, we want to use, y'all didn't hear that, but there was a car that just like skidded across the road, and it was so loud. But anyways, so there's one fan header right there that we can use. I'm looking for like another one that's kind of close. I guess maybe we could wrap it. Oh yeah, there's a couple down here we can use. So
I think it might be nice to route them through the bottom if we can. Yeah. So they're like all in one space. But I don't know, is the graphics card gonna block that or?
No, the graphics card will block it when we put it in, but like after that we won't be messing with it, so that's not a huge deal. So yeah, we should first off probably untie these cable tie things. You see how there's like stuff that's tied, and then put it through the back, and then after that we can route it through the back.
You can route it where we want it.
Yeah.
So which ones are you saying are the? So this is like the sysfan 1 and 2, like these guys right here.
Yep. Okay. So we can use that. Yeah, I use those for sure. And just basically route them to the back, and then route them in.
Let me just untie it.
7 people watching now. Hello guys. Welcome to the people who joined.
Wilbert says, "Don't do what I do. Just see the brand and efficiency rating and call it a day." Get some Corsair, right? They make some good DSUs, right?
Corsair makes pretty good. Their RM series is good. Their CX series that is semi-modular is bad comparatively to other units. I mean, it's not like bad to where it's gonna like blow up bad, but like it's like there's much better units for the price than those. Like the non-modular units for the CX, the ones developed in 2017, are actually pretty good units, and they're cheaper because they're non-modular, but they're actually better units on the inside. So
I mean, you got this whole like shroud that's blocking all the cables, so you're never gonna see if you don't have like a modular.
Yeah. So basically, I always recommend getting the non-modular one because I know that it actually is a better unit, straight up. But yeah. Any questions from you guys on the stream? Once again, I see there's some new people watching. That's cool. Feel free to put them in chat. Raiden and I do have the ability, we have like a monitor set up so we can see chat. So if you ask us questions, we should be able to see it. Other than that, hopefully the music is playing right now. That way there's no awkward silence. But yeah, let us know if there are any issues, okay?
Alright, so I got all of these unbraided. Now I gotta figure out, okay, so there's 2 per fan, so now let's send them to the back.
Yeah, and I think we can daisy chain the LEDs like I mentioned earlier.
Okay, so these are the 2 LEDs, right?
Yeah.
And then we just gotta connect the top one to the bottom one.
So yeah, basically what we gotta do is
put that there.
Yeah, so male into female, that's just how it goes.
And then we could probably tie that up, make it look pretty.
Yeah, and then so we're gonna have to put this one on in to like a port somewhere.
Could we also do this one? Or that's okay, yeah. So this goes in somewhere down here.
But we should probably thread it through the back. Well, actually, I'll show you where that will go, but I want to make it kind of neat.
Yeah. So I think we should put all of them to the back first, right?
What if we put this like through here actually? If it'll fit.
I think you'll have room.
And then okay, there we go. And then so the RGB is like it's back there too. You see that? Yeah. I got this.
And then this one. This is
so yeah, that can fit down there. That should be fine.
Honestly, this could go through like one of these holes.
Yeah.
Right there. So we don't have to run it all the way up. Honestly, we might be able to do that with all of them, so that we're not, or at least for this tier 1. Oh, is that gonna fit? Maybe not.
Might not. We've lost the feature.
It might be a bit better. Little cable management going on. Okay.
And then we want to put this through behind the fan. Get it caught there so that way you can't see it. There we go. So yeah, now we have the 2 fans.
It's honestly so hard to see inside of here. Like a little flashlight.
I wonder. I could go get. I'll be right back. I have the phone tripod. I could just put my phone on my phone tripod and then use that to show on.
That'd be nice. All right. So if we switch it around to the back here, we can see kind of what we're doing. So now we fed all of those wires through, and now we have to figure out a way to connect. I think this one we don't need right now, so we can. I'm gonna take some time and tie this up with one of these. So,
alright, so do here is I'll put this on here.
Oh, that's actually quite nice thing.
So now when you turn it around, you can't see it. You can just like move the phone.
Yeah.
And that has a flashlight. So
what a beautiful stream.
For real.
All right. So I got this pulled through. Let me make this less ugly.
Yeah. And if you want to start passing the fans through, I can work on it on this side and get them just plugged in.
All right. So that's these two.
Yeah.
Let me untangle this a bit.
Whichever one's shorter, give me first, because I'm gonna plug it into the left one.
Okay. I think they're gonna be about the same. So if you want to just pull them and see how far they will go.
One right here. Okay. Oh, that one goes plenty far. Even if you give me the other one. Okay, both of them are gonna have a 0 issue. I wonder actually, this one is far enough. I can actually probably plug this into. There's system fan 1 right here.
Okay.
And then hold up, let me look where the notches. As usual, there's like little notches for like everything. So it's just like you can't do it the wrong way. It's just not possible.
So there's the other one. I don't know if you want to feed it through the bottom, we can do that too.
Yeah, feed it through the bottom. Feed it to your right of the front panel connection.
My right of the
like right here where my finger is. You see that?
I can't see your finger now.
So basically, here, look at.
Oh, okay.
You see it? Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like okay. There we go. And then. I'm filling this fan in. And then the RGB connector has to go through here.
Okay, so that's this guy. and then sit up top, right?
Yep, right there, and you're good.
Yeah, this is a bunch of mess we don't really want in front of the case.
I'm really glad that this case has rubber grommets.
It's so nice.
That's something that a lot of cheap cases, like they kind of skip out on, and it makes it look so much better because it hides the cable mess, obviously.
Yeah. So I mean, all of these are plugged in now. So
yep, everything is plugged in, so that means we can start doing the power supply now.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to like clean it up a little bit, we can, but also we can do that later when everything's actually in, and we get it turned on and everything.
I think that's probably a good bet.
So we want to look at what connections we're going to need first of all, and also we're going to have to look at how we put the extensions in. So first of all, we need.
You want to do up close?
Yeah. So there's the power supply. So this is a modular power supply, guys, which means that we only have to use the cables that we actually need. Now for this build, we're going to need a motherboard connection.
These guys up here.
We're going to need one CPU power, which is one of the 8 pins somewhere that says CPU.
Yeah, it's very clear.
And then for our extension cable right here for the GPU. Now the GPU uses NVIDIA's like new stuff. You can see that it actually uses 3 8 pins. So we're gonna need probably one daisy chain and one to get the 3 pins. We're probably gonna have to put 2 of the daisy chain ones on. That'll give us a total of 4, and then we'll plug 3 of those 4 in. Because that's just how it works. So I'm gonna go to the power supply box. Here's all the cables, and first let me get those out. So
switch.
Let's see, these are Molex. We don't need those. Those are for like old peripherals. Let's see. This is a PCIe. We will need this one, and this is a daisy chain. So we need one of those. SATA. We don't need any of those because we don't have any SATA peripherals or drives. Here is another PCIe daisy chain. So we only need 2 of those because they daisy chain to each other. Wow, we have a floppy. Power.
Thanks, Enermax.
They realize that maybe we still have floppy drives.
They respect all builds.
And it goes to Molex, so that's crazy. But anyways, I don't think we need that. Let's see, this is just another SATA. We don't need that. Here's the motherboard. It's a really thick one. You can show that one off. And then we have one CPU, which is, let's see, we have a CPU daisy chain here. Okay, cool. So we have a CPU daisy chain, but we're only actually using one of those. So now what we want to do is we want to get the extensions, and we want to plug the extensions in. Or we can plug those in and unplug them in when they're in. But how about this? We plug these cables in first. So plug these cables in. We're going to take this, right? And if we all well, the camera. But essentially, you just plug it in. You see the notches will line up, and like it should say like motherboard, right? Now here's the thing: the way that this one goes in actually is this goes into the power supply. That one doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I'll angle the camera.
So how would you know that?
Well, okay. Look at the power supply. You see how the power supply has 2 different separate ones?
Okay.
And look at the end. It's 2 separate ones, right?
That makes sense.
So
if you want to just drop it down, maybe, or that might be good for this low stuff. All right. So the click is on top, so it's kind of straightforward.
So there's that.
Gotta push it in real good.
So essentially what we're doing right now, guys, is we're just plugging in cables.
Super
very
riveting
fun stuff. If you want to get the flashlight.
That's good. All right, so those the motherboard cables are plugged in. So now let's do. How many of these did we need? These are supposed to be plugged into one another, right?
So the way that this works, right? So you're gonna have one of the cables, like one of the ends, goes into here, and then it should come out with 2 of them, because they're basically daisy chained together, and that's going to end up plugging into our extension cable. Has 3 of them. So if we have 4, that means we have to plug in 3 of the 4, right? Here's the extension cable.
Okay.
That makes it look fancy. We had another person join. Welcome. We have 8 viewers now. So welcome to whoever joined.
I don't know which side it's supposed to go. Oh, this is PSU. It's labeled PSU.
Yep. So that would go into, you have CPU/PCIe down here. So that's where you would plug that in. So if you want to just start plugging that in, it's basically these 4.
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't matter which?
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Okay, let's put it here. Oh, the clips on the bottom for these. Switch this over.
Raiden, rate how hard it's been so far. Probably not that bad, right?
It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty chill. I mean, it's only a little nerve-wracking to do the CPU. When it like clips down, it's like kind of an unsettling amount of force.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, it's pretty. You could do this in an afternoon if you have your own build. It's kind of relaxing. I think, yeah. I honestly don't know if it's clicked or not.
I can make sure. It's definitely in there. I'll tell you back up. Let's see.
Close up of Christo's hands.
Poor bit of hands with terrible habits. But it's okay.
Is it in?
Yeah, it's in. Good. And then if you want to put the others in, I don't know why that one's not clicking super nice. But
alright, so how many do we actually need plugged into there?
So
just this one?
It's both of these. I have all the cables that I took out are the cables that we need. So I'm gonna take off this twisty tie. And then let's see.
So we have 3 of
this is the CPU connection, so that's the other PCIe, so probably put that one in next.
CPU?
Yep. I'll shove this one in. That one clicked. And then finally we have this CPU connection right here, which let's see. We have 2 of these as well, which is crazy.
So 2 of them will be for, or all 3 of them are for this monstrosity of a...
Yeah, 3 of them are for the graphics card, and then
one I see what you mean. Okay, so these 3 plug into the end of this.
We don't actually want to plug these in quite yet. Actually,
we could, right?
We could, yeah. We might also want to wait until we have the actual graphics card, just so we aren't cluttered while putting in the other things first. There. So I think.
So would that plug into this side or this side? Does it matter?
So yeah, it doesn't actually matter. Notice. So this is actually a PSU. Now the reason that I know this is a PSU, or no, not PSU, CPU. This is not a graphics card. When it splits, if I show this on the camera, why the Enermax PSU? I wasn't here for that part. Hi Jimmy. So the reason I went with the Enermax PSU is mainly for the reliability, not particularly like their raw specs. The Enermax DF units are just really, really well known for being like super high up on the scale. They use like proper capacitors, all that stuff. So that's the real reason.
It's also leaves room for upgrading.
Yeah, and yeah, it was 850 watts, so we have a lot of wattage there. It should be fine with the 4070 Ti, and also they aren't super expensive. They're like 120-ish for the entire unit, which is pretty good. But yeah, so this is actually PSU because it's a 4+4 instead of a 6+2 pin. That's how you actually know. Whereas this PCIe ones, you can see it's a 6+2 when it disconnects. So yeah, keep that in mind. So we're gonna plug. Really, what we have to do is let's put the power supply in first. Okay. And I will mess with the camera to get this on camera again. Let's screw this fall out. Let's see. I guess I can fix that in a second. Here. If you want to put the PSU in.
Which one fell out?
There's a motherboard screw that just died. But if you want to put the PSU in, I'll fix this real quick. Okay. I gotta figure out where this thing came from. Or maybe it was just a screw I dropped in earlier that I didn't notice. Oh no, I see where it came from. Thank you.
This thing just slides right in. You gotta line it up with these. I'm gonna give you a second there, Chris.
Yeah, we're good over here. That was not a huge issue.
So where are the...
So here's the thing. We have to get the PSU screws, which there's probably PSU screws that came with the power supply, but they also come with the case at the same time.
Okay.
So you can use either one. I can actually see that the screws that come with the power supply are probably in here. They're like the bigger ones. Yeah, here's one of them.
It looks to me that not all of these line up.
So first of all, let me ask you, which way did you put the fan?
Should it be flipped?
The fan should be facing down.
I don't know.
Here,
I think the fan is facing.
So the fan is facing down, but here's.
Is it?
Oh no, the fan is facing up actually.
I bet.
So you can actually do either way. You can actually do either way, right? And because you can do either way, for most PCs you want to put it down because if it's on like wood or something, like you want it to be basically taking in cold air from the bottom and just exhausting it straight out, so it keeps the PSU cool. But for a build that you're putting on like carpet or something, where it's gonna be like really heavy carpet that might stuff it, you want to put it facing up, and sorry, but anyways, you want to put it facing up so that way like just like doesn't get stuck by the carpet. It'll just take in the air from above. But
and you can tell they designed this case for the PSU to go this way because the holes are like they match up now. So
yeah, so I guess in this case they just don't want you. Yeah, and you can actually here's why. There's no air right here. None.
Yeah.
So this case is basically forcing you to put the PSU down. Most cases they don't do that actually. Most cases will have 2 different screw holes positions, but
so let's get those bad boys in there.
Okay, PSU screws. Got a little bag right there. So you can put those on it. And now it's starting to look like a mess from the other side. Let me focus the camera kind of. Maybe turn the ISO down to 10.
We're straight filmmakers.
Alright, cool. So Raiden is just currently screwing in the power supply. Looks like that's the 4th screw and it's all good and in. So with that being said, let's make sure it's off. Yeah. On a 0, right? Binary? Yeah.
That's what that is?
Yeah. It's 0.
Oh wow. I never knew that.
So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. So make sure it's on 0.
Yeah.
And now what we have to do is basically we're gonna have to you can zoom that out. And we're gonna have to mess with these.
Yeah, look at.
But what I want to do first is go to the front of the case, and we want to actually get the extensions in first, because putting in the extensions will be much easier than putting these through and then getting them through. So we have 3 extension cables. We have an 8-pin. Once again, so we have an 8-pin for the CPU, 4+4, right? And then after that, beyond that, we have this is a 24-pin for the motherboard, and then we also have the weird GPU connection somewhere. Where did I place that? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I was showing it off earlier. And then we have for the GPU we have this. Now what we want to do is we want to put in the CPU and the motherboard. So the CPU is right here. The CPU power is all the way like right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all orient this. You're good. If you want, you can actually only do 3. You can actually take that one entirely off because there isn't much area for the entire cable to go. So if you want to just do 3, that's fine.
I can just flip it real quick. I mean,
okay. You can do that while I put in the PSU then, or the CPU then. So I'm going to be putting this PSU or the CPU cable. I'm going to edit the camera a little bit so you guys can see.
Zoom in some.
So yeah, I'm going to zoom in, put it a little high so that they can see exactly what I'm doing. Up to the ISO again because now it's just like pure blackness.
Yeah.
So now what we can do, right, is I can take this PSU connection. What I'm doing is I'm putting it in this top area right here. I know it's hard to see, but at the very top, like near where my finger is poking out, there's a little connection for the PSU power, or the CPU power. I keep saying PSU, but this is a hard part in the build. I won't even lie. So bear with me, guys. But
just trust Krista that he's doing.
It's kind of annoying. The fingers are just too big sometimes. I will eventually get it there. Try going straight in.
Alright, I got this. Flip your on.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off and look in from the top.
That's a tip.
There we go. Perfect. So the CPU power is now in. Now I gotta thread this through here and make it look all pretty. As pretty as I possibly can at least. Let's see. I'll move this like kind of down.
And this is why we don't want to put in the cooler first, because that would just be an absolute mess.
Yep.
Trying to get in there.
So now that looks pretty solid. And here we are.
So I fixed this, or I put it, flipped it around. The logo is facing the wrong way, but we want these builds to be clean.
So now what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to...
V, do you mind switching? Thanks. Alright, I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, so this is the motherboard connector, so I can... That goes in through here.
Yep. And that one you can just put through there, and you're going to have to connect it.
Like right there, right?
Yep, right there. So notice that there's a notch on one side, and that notch is actually on that side.
So it'll wrap this
It
way,
has
right?
to basically be like this.
Oh, it has to go that way?
Yeah, like this.
Okay.
So I would put that in through and then try to wrap it around and make it look all nice.
Okay.
And if we want to go back to the other camera now, I'm going to try to get this.
V, do you mind?
Try to put this in a direction where they can see what's going on.
Alright, well I heard that click, so that's good. And then let's curve this bad boy back. Yeah, like you're saying, we don't really need all of these combs, but
It can look kind of nice with them.
yeah, maybe it'll help. I think that's good, right?
Yeah, that looks fine.
Kind of looks fire. How they're all like together. These combs actually do really make a difference. These extensions are nice.
Yep.
Alright, so
Hold up.
yeah,
And we should be
chilling.
chilling. Yeah, okay, everything's fixed. I made it so it's perfectly.
Alright, let's find the backside of this motherboard connector, and
So now what we're doing is we're going to the back end. If we want to shift to the other camera, actually, that would probably be best for this. If we want to shift there, now what we can do is we're going to be plugging in these extensions into the actual power supply itself. So that way they actually power up. And then after that, we have two more steps. Two more, which is to plug the graphics card in, and put the CPU cooler actually fully on. And then
yeah. How are we doing on time? How long has it been?
It's been 1 hour and 20 minutes.
We're cruising.
Our goal was to finish this in under 2 hours. So we'll see. Hello and welcome to the stream, Aisha, by the way. I see you said hi.
Yay. We got the whole crew here. Okay, so I got the motherboard plugged into the power supply.
Yeah.
This backside's looking kind of crazy right now, but...
So do you see how, if I move this around, and we go back to the zoomed in camera real quick, V, can we get that to this too? And if I put this down, right? Hold up. A little wide. So there's actually a little cutout. This little cutout down here, yeah, and if we put this kind of, you can actually, let me show you this. If you touch this button, let's use it like a ball.
That's nice.
So now there's a little cutout right here, and you'll notice that it just goes straight in, like right there. It's this right here where my thumb is. Let's see if I can, I don't know, like right there. Yeah, there you go. And that is meant for the GPU power. So what we can do is we can put these three things down there, and then when we connect them, we can connect them to the power supply just through there. And then when we lift it up, we'll connect it to the actual graphics card. So I'm trying to go through everything. And that just went all the way through. Nice. Okay. I did not mean for that to happen. Let's see. We put it through like this.
You gonna grab it?
I think it's the third line though. Hold up.
I got the two.
And then if you want
Yeah, there's all three.
those would be plugging into the PCIe on the back end. I gotta angle it in a way that it won't just like
Fall through.
fall through. Yeah, there we go. I'll just put it through like that for now. Okay. Yeah. But that will plug into the graphics card when we get there.
All right. So let's switch this back around. So then we're connecting these three to these three, right?
Yep.
So which side are we going to be using? Because
So-
I mean, they could both technically work, right?
Yeah, they're just in series, I think. So it doesn't really matter. Just real quick.
I think should we clip these so that they're a little neater?
You could
like we can wrap one of these guys up around, right?
Yeah, wrap that guy, and then this one I'm going to be using both of them, so don't wrap this one, okay?
So what is the why both for that?
That's the CPU. This because basically each of them have 2, right? So we have a total of 4.
Okay.
But we need 3. So one of them's not used.
Oh, I see.
Used.
That's interesting that it can pull. So is it like, would that be overloading the one slot on the PSU, or
no? Maybe if you had like a 4090 or something, but with a 4070 Ti, you're not gonna have any issues like that. Realistically, like before the 40 series, like most graphics cards only use 2 in the first place. Most did not use 3. It would be like super overkill. Maybe you had like a really high end that used 3, but.
So this one's not plugged into anything right now.
Because that's a CPU, which we actually can plug in right here.
So that was the extension cord. Now we're plugging into the.
So let's see, this goes in like this.
You want to move a little bit? Sweet.
So I plugged in the CPU just now. That's all of that. And then after that, we're basically done with the power supply connections, other than the GPU, which we'll put in last. I think we're ready to do the CPU cooler, yeah. Right. So in order to do this, before we do this, we're going to want to put the case on its back. So we actually need to shove all these cables temporarily, like kind of in the back. So that way we can actually do that. Because otherwise it's not going to be flat, it's not going to lay on its back. So like I know that this will look very bad for a moment, but
I think this looks good, Chris. You could just shove everything in the bottom and call it a day, right? As long as the front looks good.
Yeah, that is something we could technically do. Some people might get mad at us, but it's not actually that bad to do that. So I'm gonna just try to shove these things like where they can be, and then after that, I gotta basically put this thing on its back, so that way we can get direct access to the CPU. Like that. There we go.
So we got the cooler here.
So I'm gonna put the camera high mode again.
Oh yeah.
And then
do we want to switch? Let's move the table down a little bit so it'll be easier to get in.
Yeah. So let's see, what we can do here is, first of all, now it's up. Put the table down a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And then after we do that, I'm going to go a little bit higher. This.
You can move this over too.
And then I will go like this.
Like. This is so jank.
Maybe,
I think we don't.
Unfortunately, we just can't use the flashlight for this. I'll try to adjust the ISO for you guys up here.
Alright, so I'm just unboxing the case fan, and I guess this is technically not a case fan. I don't know.
Alright, so now, okay, should be good now.
V, do you want to switch views? Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Okay, so now what we can see here is we can see the CPU. We're going to be putting the CPU cooler on. So luckily the CPU cooler is very, very, very easy. I want to see if they included somewhere in the hardware a specific screwdriver or not. I'm not 100% sure. They might have.
I don't think.
No, they didn't. I think they just use a normal one. But we're going to have to put the thermal paste on first before we do that. So
and make sure we take this sticker off.
Yeah, that sticker you can take off right now, actually.
I've seen videos online where someone is getting like 200 degrees Celsius because they put their thermal paste on the sticker instead of the actual.
So we can put that to the side. Raiden, you want the honors to do the thermal paste, right?
Are we doing the smiley face?
Yeah, do a little smiley face. We can like spread it around a little bit after you do the smiley face, but just to make everyone mad, just do a smiley face. So
I took the cap off.
If we want to go back to the close-up camera,
I feel like a scientist.
And so remember, it's supposed to be about the size of like a big pea.
A big pea.
So like, even though you're doing a smiley face, still do like kind of the same amount as just a pea, you know?
Okay.
But yeah,
I see what you mean.
And do it kind of in the middle, obviously.
So we're gonna
do like 2 tiny little dots.
I will.
Yep. And then just do a very thin smiley face, you know, down below.
This is so interesting. The pliability of this material is.
Yeah.
This is not as clean as I hoped, but comes out so weird. It's like a kind of a frowny face.
No, okay, that's good. That's a lot actually.
It's a lot?
Yeah, that is quite a lot.
We can wipe up some of it.
So yeah, we can. I can actually get a paper towel and take a little bit off. I always do smiley faces for people mad.
Maybe I should have just done a pee. Made people happy.
Now, typically, if you were actually cleaning something off, you might have some people tell you, "Oh, you need anti-fiber, blah blah blah," but this is fine actually. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make it a blob in the middle for now.
We messed up the smiley face.
Unfortunately,
that's my bad.
But it's fine.
I think that's plenty.
It's a lot, yeah. And you can't really go wrong with too much realistically. Everyone gets mad, but like it's just how it is. Just don't worry about it. I think it was Linus who did tests on this, and it didn't really matter as long as you didn't put too little. But anyways,
right.
You can put it on. Should be good to go.
So this side is obviously where the fan would go, because you can see there's like the skew to it, right? So the fan will be on this side.
Yep.
So we want it in this way, right?
Yep, just straight down, and then you just use the normal screwdriver, I believe, to screw it in. Should have like some spring-loaded screws or something. And I would just use the screwdriver once you get those in to put it in, and make sure to thread them both and then go kind of evenly, right?
Yeah. I can't even tell if it's on.
Yeah, that might be a little difficult. If you want, I can get my phone and put lights on. And like I said, I recommend using the screwdriver.
Can I take this back off if I already put it
If you absolutely need to, yeah, that's fine. You can like reposition.
Oh, I can kind of see. Yeah, we just gotta line it up here. Would you be able to hand thread this or no?
I can actually do this.
I would say just double check that the other side is on before you start to tighten it, I think.
So yeah, basically what I want to do is I want to get this threaded, right? I get this like threaded a tiny little bit so that I know it's on.
Okay.
And now it's threaded, right? But like notice I can still like wiggle it over, right? And so now I just gotta thread this side.
And how tight would you make this?
Basically, once it's not supposed to go down anymore, because these are spring-loaded screws, it won't. So
okay.
I have to find the actual screw itself though here.
Do you need the light again or no?
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see it even with the light. So because there is a IO shield shroud type thing that kind of blocks it.
Keep kicking the legs to this thing.
It's like right there.
Yeah, the posts are kind of weird, but it falls on. But I think I probably should have lined it up a little bit better before I locked it on there.
No, it's
rookie mistake.
It's fine. If I could just get it threaded, though, that'd be great. I'm gonna loosen this one a little bit. I gotta figure out why this one is being so annoying.
It's on now?
It's mainly because you gotta apply pressure to each side when you screw it in, otherwise it doesn't actually reach the screw. So now I have both of them unscrewed. This is so annoying.
Oh, you slid off a bit. I think.
Yeah, so now
this way a little bit.
I got the other one in, so that's why I took that one off. I could get that one in first because I can't see the other one.
I think visibility is such a big thing, and with such a with a dark case, it's hard to see because it kills like the surrounding light.
Yeah, it's actually in now on both sides though. So if you want to make sure, if you want to continue screwing in, do it evenly. You know what I mean? Like do a little bit on each one and just keep going down.
Oh, the good thing is we don't see thermal paste squishing out of the side. So
yeah. So we got 30 minutes until we got to be done. We're gonna easily beat that though. After this, we have another annoying part, which is putting the fan on, which is annoying because you use these little brackets that you can get cut really easily on.
This thing's gonna should cool very well. All right, that's about tight. Let's get this one finished up. Oh, I see. we now have a timer
Yeah.
on our second monitor. Okay, that's perfect. So let's
So the way that this is gonna work.
think about how we want this guy.
So what's gonna happen, right?
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
So
let's go through the holes here. Or?
yeah, what you really want to think about is where's this cable going, right? Because the cable, how you put this on, how you put the cable on is going to impact things. So first of all, you don't really want the cable to be seen, right? And you also don't want too much extra slack.
Switch.
So what that means is that I'm thinking about what we want to do. We probably want it to be something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that way the cable's not.
Pins are like up here, right?
Now notice that we have the fan facing that way, so the air is coming in from the front, going through, and then going through this and going out the back. But yeah, so we wanted something like this, and then we're gonna have to plug this in and then clip it on. Or we could clip it on and then plug it in. So you can see the CPU fan, for example, the little gray header. It's the gray header is the main CPU fan. You see how there's two fan headers?
Okay.
And there's also CPU optional in case you have two fans. But you want to plug this one into the gray thing.
Can we do like that? That would be really close to it, so we don't have to run it.
So here's the thing. If you do that, though, the issue is now you see the cable right here.
Okay.
So that would look kind of bad. So I recommend doing this, and then we'll like tuck the cable behind at some point.
Okay.
Because that way you aren't seeing it on the top.
I see what you mean.
So you want to try just plugging that into the gray.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice there's a notch, as usual. There's like a little notch that kind of lines up. And I'll get the camera to be a little bit more centered.
Perfect. All right, so now we got to get that. All right. I think that's pretty good. So how did these things go on to this case? Or I guess it's the fan. This is so weird.
So the way that it works, right, is essentially, first of all,
this must have to hook on the side somehow. I guess maybe we should look at the...
So basically those should hook on the side of the fan, and I believe they hook on the very outside.
Like,
and then
like this?
So like this, yeah. They hook on like that, and you might want to actually do the inside one first because it'll be harder.
Mm-hmm.
But they hook onto that, and then they go into the fins. There's like, you'll notice like if you feel the fins, there's like a notch, and it goes into that notch. So you have to like pull it back after putting it in. How's the fan on right now?
How's it? It's just sitting on the screw.
Okay, that makes sense. So what you want to do is
we put these corners through the front here.
And then after that,
I'm not.
So you put that right there. And then after you do that, you're going to want to essentially put it on and pull that clip out. Yeah,
that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take this one.
You might want to do that one just a second because it's gonna fall off when you put this one in.
It's tensioned there pretty nicely.
Here, so put the fan down.
Maybe this.
And then basically what you're gonna do is hold that there, and while you hold that there,
did you get it?
Yeah, I got that one. So now we can put the other one on.
Easy.
And then so it goes like that. You have to put that straight on, right? Make sure to not put it in from the side. Like right now it's kind of at a tilted angle. You want it to go straight in.
Oh, like that?
Yeah. And then after that, once again, you just
cable.
pull it. Oh.
We got it.
So now, then you'll just pull it. And once again, you got to clip it to the side of the fins. And there you go. Did you hear a little click? Oh, it's kind of
a little bit, yeah. There we go. I gotta get the bottom one, I think. There we go.
All right, cool.
That's
so now
that's solid. That's on there.
All right, cool. So now, everything's plugged in. We already plugged in the fan. That's done. And now we have one more thing to do, and that's plug in the graphics card, and then we're done. Which we can keep it in the same position for this.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Raj. Interesting comments. Let's see. Ow. So let me.
I think we should do a nice unboxing of this graphics card.
True. Okay, yeah, I'm down for that. I'm gonna pick the PC up and go to the main camera. And let's see. The main camera is on. Oh, there we go.
A little bit of delay, no worries.
And so now we have here the graphics card. We have the star of the show, the 4070 Ti. What is this, like an $800 card?
The biggest box.
So we take it out. This is actually, surprisingly, this is a big box, but this is actually one of the smallest 4070 Ti's. And I got it specifically for that reason, so that I wouldn't have any issues fitting it in this case. Because in the past, I remember when I did the live build in the new physics building, I had an issue where I couldn't fit the graphics card into the case without taking out a ton of other stuff. And so I had to like redo a ton of my progress. So you can do the honors, take that foam off, show it to the camera.
We want to zoom in here a little bit? This is the money shot.
If you, let's see, what you can do. So you can actually unloosen the big knob.
On the bottom, yeah, right.
Yeah, and then that'll
tilt it down.
make the ball loose. And then, yeah, cool. So there we go, it's in some packaging.
So again, let me touch the metal.
Screwdriver is probably.
You said no painted metal, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so this guy's
This is
still fat.
Take away the styrofoam. Styrofoam actually is static.
Alright, let's see the cardboard here then. This is
So
the metal strands.
This is they give you an entire bracket to keep it held up since it's so heavy, which we can install, which we will install. Hold it. So yeah, there's this huge, it's a PCIe bracket and it matches the silver, so it's cool. And then we have the actual card itself.
We're taking it out. Let's flip it over.
So we have a nice, the card is super nice.
3 giant fans.
What we need to do before we put this in is we need to find any plastic that exists on it. And also I need to check the motherboard for that too, now that I think about it. Just look throughout the card, look on the logos and everything. If you find plastic, take the plastic off.
Like a sticker?
Yeah, like little sticker, just like clear plastic.
Okay. I think that was it, to be honest. I haven't seen any. So
yeah, I don't see any on the motherboard either, to be honest. So yeah.
I think this should just be pretty plug and play. Do we want to put I mean, we have these on here, but that's fine.
Yeah. So now what we're gonna have to do.
This actually comes with its own.
Yeah, this is a little adapter. Notice they only use 2 because this graphics card only really needs 2. So the 3 was kind of overkill. But we have a much nicer one, so that's why we're not using this.
Okay.
If you want to put that away. And now we can actually take this box out of the way too. And we can get back onto the actual PC.
It's like an eraser.
So we're going to need to put this PC back on its back, which means I have to shove in all this cable again. So let me take this and let me put it down. There's a big cable that is.
Let me switch them.
Okay, so now it's on its back. We can switch to camera 2 now. And let me try to, here, if you switch sides right now, you go to the left. And we can put this a little bit over here.
So my question is, where does this go?
Let's see. So, what were you asking?
So does this just go underneath it?
Yeah, I'll explain that when we're putting it in.
Okay.
It's not that hard. There we go. We can see that now right there. Okay, so now we see the entire PC. So what we're gonna have to do is first we have to take off these brackets here. And you can see right here there's a thumb screw, so a nice big screwdriver.
So this is a double.
Yeah,
so
double wide.
The top 2, or is this the bottom 2?
We probably, it's going to be the top 2. So we take the top 2 out. So I'm going to let you do the honors. You just, first I'll unscrew this for you, and then I'll let you unscrew 2. There goes those. Yeah. We're also going to need to unscrew all 4 because the way we're going to put this bracket on. So unscrew all 4, but only take out 2.
This thing is loosey goosey. Yeah, so this is just to hold up the card essentially, so that it doesn't like rip out your motherboard, right?
Yeah, your PCIe slot. It's to prevent what's called GPU sag, which is bad because you don't want something continuously sagging. Maybe over a few years it bends something, you know.
So you said just
we only want to take out 2, but also here, wait, let me do something. So this actually pops out.
Oh, nice.
Well, we only want to take out the top two, but we want to take off those screws so that we can actually put the bracket in with it.
So we'll take these all the way out. We just don't want to pop out the slots.
Now, what I need to do here is I need to get this graphics card extension back into its spot.
We can do that once we flip it over, right?
Yeah.
So let's take these two metal pieces out. And then...
So yeah, now you can put the graphics card in. I'm going to hold these up.
Okay.
So that way... Might turn the ISO down a tad smidge.
Yeah, I think I need to be over here for line this up right. I think I got it lined up.
So now, when you put it in, you should. Did we unlatch the thing? There's a little thing to unlatch located on the inside.
Right there.
Yeah, push that down.
There we go.
So once that's
we definitely need to do that.
So those PCIe slots might fall, but that's okay. I might be covering this camera on my head. Alrighty,
I think that's about it. I need to just push it.
Yep. Push
that was that. That's it.
Let me check.
It might need to click, but I think it's in there.
Yeah, it's in. Cool. Awesome. So that's in now. So now what we do is we're going to take the little bracket, and this bracket goes like on the side. So yeah, it goes right there. And what we want to do,
that's pretty neat,
is take this bracket, right, and let me think about how this will work with the case.
Let me just move up some like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting though.
Let me think about this. Might not actually work with the micro ATX case. I'm not sure. Let me try.
I think it's a little too tall almost. Or maybe we just need to push the card up some to give it some space. I think that might work. Yeah, we can make that work.
I see. Okay. So the way that this works is there's a little cutout for it.
Alright, so I think we should let's put them. Do we want to do the bottom one first, or?
I need to make sure these PCIe slots are still alive. Yeah,
that's difficult. Seems are flopping around. Jake S said, put your back into it. I'm assuming when we were putting the graphics card in. I think we should line it up a little bit, and then if we don't tighten it down all of the way, we can still move this guy up and down. So I think we should lace in this first one, or thread in the first one, and then kind of see where we're at, you know?
I'm just wondering why.
I think this is just pretty narrow. If you were using a full-size case, it might have enough room, you know?
Hold that in. Yeah, I see the issue. The issue is that this part's supposed to be kind of flush with it, like that. But we might just not be able to fit this in realistically. Unfortunately, I think that that's more realistic is that this, because of this case, is just too small.
Okay, so let's
probably just screw them all back in. Be sure when so make sure to hold it up while you screw it in, and put the PCIe slots back in.
It's minor L.
Get the other screwdriver.
We have 15 minutes to clean this up before we run into our
2 hour time.
Yeah. So we need to do some cable management and then we have to power it on.
Yeah. Let's see how this goes. Here's about that. And if you want to plug, screw that on in. And then we should be good to go.
That might just be my head.
Let's see. I guess my roommate's just wrong. That's crazy.
Of course, this is my. There we go.
For those of you wondering, we're just putting in brackets. So now, yeah, we have to plug in the GPU connector, and then we're done with the actual build, and we just cable manage, and we're good. In order to plug this in, I need this out. You want to sync? Okay, and then we have to come on this other one. Alright, and now.
I'll readjust this one.
Yeah. Y'all see the final piece. Just taking this. Let's get these cones a little higher up. And which way does this go? It's like it doesn't. This is just plugging in the GPU power. And wait, no, this actually does go.
Good. Right now we see the top of your head.
Alright, Raiden, I want you to do the final piece. I want you to just push that on in and wait until it clicks.
Okay, that clicked.
Alright, cool. Now we just get this, put it through, route it underneath, make it so you mostly just see not the cable pins, but just the cables. Cable pins just keep it straight. So those are kind of the ugly clear ones. Yep, and there we go. And everything is good. So now we just have to cable manage, and the PC is actually fully done. Raiden, you have completed your first physical PC build.
It's not done yet. Come on, Chris.
No, you got 12 minutes, or 11 minutes actually.
So the question is, do we just shove everything in the bottom and then make the front look pretty, or try to do this in a neat way?
I would say mostly just shove it in the bottom, but then like some of these cables, like they need to be kind of.
Okay.
If we turn this around a little bit, some of these cables do need to be a little bit, shoved in and maybe zip tied or. But realistically, you can mostly just shove things in. Like I'm telling you right now, it's fine. Especially for the purposes of being on stream, like if we want to mess with it later, we can.
All right. So I think we should strap this maybe here, and then route this guy through the bottom. What do you think? So let's get our materials out. We have zip ties and stuff, right?
Yeah. So we have a few zip ties. Not too many, but that's mainly what you want to use. You'll notice that basically there's little spots on the case where you can put these. You also have those cable ties from earlier. You can use those.
So I think I'm gonna pull one of right here. That is CPUs. It's quite tricky getting this through, actually.
For the CPU, you might be able to just like not even use a zip tie. Just tuck it in.
Just tuck it on the sides.
Yeah, that, and then it should be fine. A lot of this stuff you can also just. This is why I took out the hard drive bay, right? You're just like, man.
Yeah, without the hard drive bay, it frees up a lot of open space.
So like this stuff you can shove in. Now this is something you might want to tie down the power to motherboard.
Let's flip that.
Like, because this is like so messed up, Loki.
I think if we
let me move this cone.
We could actually maybe take it out. I don't know. Alright, and then should we go like this or something? As long as it's not like looking funky on the front end.
Let me move this all the way down real quick because these are just uneven. That's the issue. There we go. Okay, so now I don't know why this extension looks like this. It just kind of does. But yeah, we gotta shove it kind of in there, and then use maybe a tie to.
Let's clip like all of these guys together.
You see, there's one right there.
So yeah, let's do that. Oh, this needs to be flipped. There we go. the sound of success. I'm gonna leave it a little bit loose so we're not. And then let's do one up here, I think. Let's go.
Let's just kind of shove it there.
Right, should we do? Can I put it through like one of these holes, or what do we? Oh, there's one. There's one there.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can use that, or you can use. Let's see. Was there anything else I see?
I don't really think so. I might as well just go with that one. Maybe not. Get that in.
Try and make it kind of flat.
Again, I need to flip this. There we go. Yeah, okay. I'm sure this is everyone's favorite part. Right? Wilbert says good luck with the rest.
Alright, see you, Will. Now that's good.
Should we get, do we have clippers or anything with that, or should we just leave it?
Fortunately, I don't have any wire cutters right now, so we're just gonna have to kind of shove them. That actually looks pretty good, actually. Not terrible.
Alright,
now we
do the back.
Yeah, we should try putting the back panel on, which is underneath. Yeah. And then after we put the back panel on, I can go get the glass, and you can get the glass on.
We get to take off the big sticker on the front.
So, how this is gonna work is, let's see.
Let's get the thumb screws. Oh, this is easy. We don't even have to shove them in.
Yeah, the cable management is usually not that hard. Hold up. The thing is, I think it's gotta like kind of slide in there. So now you can put these on. There's two of them. Good work today, boys. Make sure not to fry this one too. Oh yeah, you remember that motherboard? The laptop motherboard I told you I fried? Yeah, that was Jake's. He was a middle school and high school friend of mine.
Alright, let's flip this guy around. Do you want to get the
Yeah, I'm gonna go get the glass.
This is kind of heavy.
Now it is.
With the GPU and everything in it.
So now I go get the glass, and then we can get it.
It's looking pretty clean. Not gonna lie.
And after we put this on, we take the glass off. Well, I don't mean to kill the camera, but we'll basically be done. We do have to take off. Is there plastic on the other side?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
It's a little dirty, but.
So we put that on. Make sure to line it up.
Slides into place. You see, there's these two locks.
Yeah.
And then the thumb screws.
The thumb screws are also in right here. These two.
Yeah.
And then right now I'll have you take off the glass. I'm gonna do all the software stuff for this build, guys, offline. So unfortunately, like you won't be able to see like with an OS. I'll be sure to post images of it in the BIOS and everything on Discord. So just wait for that, and I'll post pictures of it all and all that stuff. So don't worry. But Raiden, I do want you to finish this build, and this will finish up the live stream by taking off this glass.
Are we ready?
And yeah, I think we're ready to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raiden, for coming.
Yes.
Whoa! Raiden built a PC. Let's go.
Not done yet. Okay.
Not done yet.
There we go.
So, once again, Raiden, I'm going to ask you this before we go. How hard was it?
Easy.
It was easy.
Wasn't hard, no. Especially with helping hands and some courage behind us. We finished in just an hour and 55 minutes. So.
Yep. And so what I recommend is if you're at UF or at another college, who knows, and you want to build a PC, try reaching out to us. Come join the club. If you don't know how to build one, right, then that's the point of the club. We teach you guys. So come join. If you're at a different university watching this, and you don't have a club, a branch of the Society of PC Building at your university, reach out to me. You can email pcbuildinguf@gmail.com. Reach out, and I would be very, very happy to start more branches. Right now, it's just the UF branch and the UCF branch. I think we had talks with like maybe UVA and Purdue at some point, but I'm not sure where that's going. But I would love to start more branches and eventually do like PC building competitions or something. That's like a goal of mine at some point. So please reach out. With that being said, the build is done. So thank you, everyone.